Okay, awesome. So before I start, I just wanted to let you all know that while the time on this presentation is scheduled from 12:30 to 1:30, the actual presentation takes about 25 to 30 minutes. I made it an hour, so we have enough time at the end to have any questions. And if any questions come up during the presentation, you can write them in the chat so we can get to them and you don't end up forgetting them. So hello, my name is Amy Rodriguez. I'm a public ally who was placed with Bagot as their community outreach and cultural liaison. I'm not sure if everyone here is familiar with our nonprofit. If you are familiar with who we are and kind of what we do, please raise your hand. You can put it in the chat as well, or like unmute yourself and let us know. Ingrid, awesome. Got one. Okay, well, great. Thank you for being here. And if you're not familiar with Bagot, our mission is to educate, support, and empower those that are impacted by cancer. Bagot's vision is to provide every cancer patient with a Bagot resource bag so they can conquer fear through information and to empower patients to be more involved in their care and become a self-advocate. And we're kind of expanding on this vision by having these self-advocacy presentations. While we are an organization that focuses on cancer, we want to help everyone in our community and beyond by spreading awareness about self-advocacy and how people can use it in any of their healthcare needs, not just when they're going through a cancer diagnosis. And with that said, I will be making a few connections to cancer and our organization, Bagot, throughout this presentation. But all of the information and tips can be used for any healthcare situation. And also keep in mind that we will be focusing on self-advocacy within healthcare. However, self-advocacy is something that you can do in any aspect of your life. Great. So what is self-advocacy? Defining self-advocacy is kind of tough since there are so many different definitions out there. But when we are talking about self-advocacy at Bagot, we like to describe it as the ability to communicate one's needs and to make informed decisions about the kinds of help and support that one wants. And we defined self-advocacy, but what exactly is self-advocacy? It is when you are effectively communicating, conveying, negotiating, or asserting your own interests, desires, needs, and wants. It is when you develop your own personal goals and you communicate that to your healthcare team. For example, if you know that you want to have children in the future, communicate that so you can stay away from any kinds of medication that might affect your fertility. Or if you have high blood pressure, some doctors want you to be on medication. If you don't want to do that, ask for other options to get your high blood pressure lowered, but also know and understand your strengths and weaknesses when you are self-advocating. If they tell you to change your diet and you know that you will not be able to commit to that and actually do it, make sure you tell them that and ask for more options and for more information. When you are a self-advocate, you are making informed decisions and taking responsibility for those decisions. So why is self-advocacy important within healthcare? Well, by being a self-advocate, you are playing an active role within your healthcare. Speaking up for the good of your body and your own life is important. It helps with the relationships you have with your healthcare team, which that is also very important. Keep in mind that you are the center of your healthcare team. You are the most crucial part, and you really want to make sure that you are improving the relationships with your team. And this will ensure that you are getting the best quality of care that you deserve in order to improve your long-term health. And it will make sure that you are getting your needs met. Voicing your personal preferences is important as well, and it will allow you to maintain a level of control over your life. You might be going through something that makes you feel a bit powerless. So self-advocacy can help you get some control over what is going on. And what does it mean to be a self-advocate? It means that you're having your voice heard. Your doctor is hearing and becoming aware of any concerns or needs that you may have. You are talking with your healthcare team and working with them. And also, it means that you are not afraid to ask for what you want. If you need some special accommodation because of your religion or your culture, tell your doctor and let them know that that is something that you want. It also means that you know what your rights are. Patients have a very specific set of rights. Some of these rights are guaranteed by federal law as well. For example, you have the right to obtain your medical records and you have a right to complete privacy. That means that anything you discuss with your healthcare provider will not be shared without your consent. Depending on where you live, your state may have other laws that protect your rights. So it is important to look into the rights that your state guarantees and looking into the Patient Bill of Rights, which is a list of guarantees for those receiving medical care. It may take a form of a law or a non-binding declaration, but it typically guarantees patients' information, fair treatment, and the right to make medical decisions, among other things. So really look into it and make sure that your rights are being respected every step of the way. And being a self-advocate also means that you know what your goals are and you are doing everything to achieve those goals, whether that goal be that you want to work while you are getting some treatment or that you still want to be able to go on mile hikes. So what does it take to be a self-advocate? It kind of relates to everything we already kind of touched on, but know yourself. The most effective advocacy tools are your voice and your experiences. But in order to use these tools in a powerful way, you must first get to know yourself by reflecting on questions like, what are my needs? What are my strengths? What are my limitations? What is my preferred method of communication? Do I need to write things down to remember them? Do I need to be more assertive? Really ask questions to get to know yourself better. And once you get to know yourself, you'll be able to know things like what you need, the kinds of things that you need from your medical team. And once you know those kinds of things, you kind of find out when you need something. This way, you can always be prepared. And it is important to know how to get what you need. Do some research and be prepared with a plan. Really know yourself, know what you need, know when you need it, and know how to get it. So, who is or can be a self-advocate? First and foremost, yourself. You can and should be your own self-advocate since you know what you want and what you need better than anybody. But of course, speaking up for yourself can be really scary and you might not be able to for some other reason as well. If you cannot advocate for yourself, find someone to do it for you. I know that when I'm in a situation that kind of makes me nervous or scared, I often forget everything that I want to say and I just kind of sit there and listen. So kind of know yourself and bring someone that can help you in these situations. This someone can be your guardian, your parent or child, your friend, or your caregiver. Find someone close to you who can communicate your needs clearly. Then when you go to the doctor, they can speak on your behalf. What is important is that someone in the room, whether that be you or someone else, someone is speaking up for you and making sure that all your needs are met and your concerns are addressed. Speaking up at the doctors. So speaking up to authority figures like our doctors may be difficult. We might be afraid that we might say something that will upset them and we will get in trouble of some kind. However, we need to challenge these fears because authority figures need to hear our wants, needs, hopes, and concerns if they are going to do their job. Doctors can't do their job correctly if they do not know what kinds of things you're concerned about or what kinds of things you're wanting from your medical care. Yes, doctors have spent years mastering a specific field of study. However, when you are at the doctor, you are also an expert. You know more about your own symptoms, your experiences, and your body and your medical history than your doctor does. Since they can't read your mind, they'll only be able to help you if you communicate clearly and honestly with them. Remember, both of you have the same goal, which is helping you to feel better. You are more likely to achieve that goal if you combine both of your expertise and you work together. So speaking up and communicating clearly with your doctor is so important when it comes to getting the best possible care. And again, working together with your doctor is so important. For the patients, the communication that is done when you are self-advocating will help you when you are trying to get your needs met, voicing your personal preferences and maintaining a level of control over your life. For the provider, the doctor, or whoever else is in your healthcare team, you self-advocating actually suggests patient competence in managing and preventing health problems. It shows to them that you are actively trying to better your health and that you actually care about getting better. You asking them questions and continuously contacting them does not bother them or make them think that you are in some way uneducated. It is actually showing them that you care, you are trying to learn, and that you are trying to make decisions for yourself. It took the doctor years to get as knowledgeable as they are now. So they know that you will not know everything overnight. You communicating with them and asking them questions is showing them that you want to get more information so you can make the best possible decisions for yourself. So we've talked a bit about, or a lot about self-advocacy, what self-advocacy is, and why it is important to use it when you are with your healthcare team. Now let's talk more about how to be a self-advocate. Well, there are four main elements of self-advocacy. The first element is information seeking. Information seeking skills are developed by patients educating themselves as thoroughly as possible about their disease or illness, treatment options, side effects, and support services. We know you are not the doctor, but it is still important that you have the information on what you are going through. The second is communication skills, as they help patients have thoughtful interactions with others like their healthcare team, and it helps avoid misunderstandings. This is a skill that does not come to everybody naturally, and it can definitely take a bit of practice. The third is problem solving. Problem solving skills are similar to decision-making skills, and they help patients approach problems with a team approach. And the fourth element is negotiation. Negotiation skills teach patients to address issues that are of personal importance to get their needs met. So honestly, knowing that self-advocacy is important doesn't necessarily make it any easier. We prepared this acronym with our organization name to help patients with self-advocating. Keeping these steps in mind can help when you are starting to get into the habit of advocating for yourself and for your health. So bag it. It starts with be prepared, assert yourself, gather information, inform the doctor, and take an active role. So what do each of these mean exactly? Be prepared for appointments. Writing down notes and questions ahead of time is very important. You don't want to forget any questions or concerns that you want to tell the doctor. So write them down as they come up and make sure you take them with you when you go to the doctor. Have a notepad that you designate as the one that you take with you to medical appointments. Or you can also write them down in your notes app on your phone. Just make sure that you have everything beforehand, because you might end up forgetting while you're sitting there, and then you will leave with all these unanswered questions, and you don't want that to happen. So write it down and also make sure you prioritize the questions that you really want answered. Have goals for each appointment so you are able to get through everything you need. And take records with you. Have a copy of your medical records. Have any previous suggestions from your doctor written down. Also write down symptoms, concerns, or any new information you found so you can discuss it with your doctor. And take someone with you. Not only is that great moral support, but they can also help when it comes to writing things down or helping record the appointment. Recording the appointment is so useful, as you can always go back and hear anything that you failed to write down or remember. Also, tell the person that you're taking with you, tell them the questions and concerns that you want to ask, so they can also help and make sure that those questions are answered. Assert yourself. Communicate what you desire to your healthcare team, your caregiver, family, or friends. Bring up any concerns that are related to support that could be provided to you, whether that is financial, basic needs, emotional support, or anything else. Really discuss your needs. Are there any obstacles to your care, whether that be transportation, food insecurity, work-related issues, also things like the ability to pay, costs of care. If your doctor prescribes you a bunch of new medications and you know that your insurance might be ending soon and you won't be able to afford them, let them know. Tell them that you won't be able to afford it and share with them your financial concerns. Don't keep it in because you're thinking, oh, they can't help me with that. Don't think that it is your problem and that they can't help you in some way. They might know some alternatives to those medications, so it is cheaper, or they might be able to send you somewhere where you can get financial help. You won't know if they can help you in those ways if you do not bring it up. So always raise any concerns or obstacles that you might have. Ask questions. Ask questions about the medications that you're taking. Ask why you're taking certain medicine and confirm the name and dose. Remember to always ask clarifying questions if you don't understand something, and be clear and be confident about what you're feeling and what you want and what you need from your healthcare team. Gather information. So gathering information is important. We're not kind of just saying to go straight to Google and just Google everything, but do some research. Look for reliable resources and organizations and make sure that the information you're looking at is backed by science. So look for websites that end with .org and do research, but do so cautiously. Make sure to check the dates of the articles as well, since science is constantly changing and new information is constantly being put out there. The oncology/cancer field is one that is changing very rapidly. So always check the dates of articles. And we are a nonprofit organization that focuses on cancer. So I just wanted to mention that if you need to find reliable resources concerning cancer, look for national cancer organizations such as Cancer Care, NCI, NCCN, NCCS, and organizations such as those. Also, our website has over 150 resources broken into categories with specific cancer types, financial assistance, caregivers, support care, and we have resources in Spanish and more. Inform the doctor. It is important to communicate and inform your doctor about everything. This way, they know what kinds of treatment plans you need. When you are communicating your needs and concerns, they can make a plan around them so it can be the right plan for you. So tell them about your lifestyle. Are you going out and riding your bike every day? Continuing to work? Want to have kids? Take certain transportation? If you still want to do certain activities, let your doctor know so they can plan around that. Tell them about medicine, supplements, or recreational drug use. You might not think it is important or relevant to talk about things like fish oil or vitamin B, but they need to know all that information if they're going to do their job. What you might normally take for a cold might not work with your current treatment as well, and it could even cause problems. There are even some weight loss supplements that could cause cardiac implications for people with heart diseases. So be honest about what you're doing with your doctor. If you don't really exercise, or if you really drink a lot of milkshakes every morning, let them know when they ask. Inform your doctor of any symptoms that you're feeling as well, the frequency, location, severity. Write it all down and let them know. You might think that they are nothing, but it could be something. So inform your doctor, even if you think a headache or a stomach ache is nothing to worry about. Just be honest and be open. Your doctor has really heard it all. They've heard a lot of things, so don't be afraid. Take an active role. You have to take an active role in your healthcare in order to be a part of your healthcare team and in order to be a part of the decision making. This ensures that your needs are being understood and met in order to improve your quality of life. When you are at appointments, make sure to repeat back your understanding of what was said to you. And since medication errors are a big problem, especially if you have multiple caregivers, write them down. Use a medication log to write down all of your medications. Call your doctor if you are confused or you forget something. They would rather you call them than you take a guess and cause more health problems by taking the wrong dose of medicine, or you start working out ahead of time when you should be resting. A lot of people know that electronic medical records, they can be really challenging, and some doctors don't talk to one another. So having copies of all of your records and keeping them available is so important. You're highly encouraged to take them with you to your appointments, especially if it is your first appointment with a certain member of your healthcare team. And also be familiar with your patient bill of rights, which I mentioned earlier in the presentation. And also interview your doctor. Make sure that they are the right match for you. Remember, you are always allowed to ask for a different doctor if you feel like the one you currently have is not the right one for you. If you would feel more comfortable with a female doctor, then you have a right to ask for one. The same if you feel more comfortable with a male doctor. You have a right to choose a different doctor if you feel like you need to. So this picture shows the contents of our bag, which is given to people who are going through a cancer diagnosis. The content is directed towards cancer patients, but we wanted to show you this because these materials in the bag were created to help patients stay organized and to encourage them to speak up. This resource was really created in order to help patients be self-advocates. There's a lot of information inside so people can be informed as they go through their cancer diagnosis. There are different booklets that cover health, emotional support, and more. Along with the information, we have the My Companion Guidebook, which is a binder that patients can use to keep organized, to keep all of their information organized in one place. It can be personalized to each person, and there are different tab sections that are meant to help store medical info and records. It could also have calendars and checklists so people can stay organized in so many different ways. And this concept is actually something that you can do with any disease or illness you might have, or just in general. You can create a binder full of information that you will need when you go to the doctor, so you can always be prepared. And I have this short video about the experience of 2 Bagot recipients and how the self-advocacy tips we have in our bag and how I've kind of laid out in this presentation, how they helped while they were going to the doctor.
Best present we got. I read every word of every pamphlet. And like Andy said, it was questions that you make sure you ask. Take a tape recorder with you. We would come home from an appointment. He would say, oh, the doctor said this. And I'd say, no, the doctor said that. And we listened to the recording and the doctor said something totally different.
Every time. Every time.
You kind of hear sometimes what you want to hear and you don't want to hear what you don't want to hear. So you kind of block things out sometimes.
Yeah, and I was better at that than she was.
So they made sure to record their doctor visits to make sure that they were prepared and to make sure that they were doing what they had been originally told by their doctor. Not everyone has perfect memory, and we are humans. Sometimes we might forget to write things down, so recording it could definitely help you. Awesome. So successful self-advocacy. Self-advocacy helps you get services you need or want, and it can open new doors within your healthcare. Advocacy and strong communication skills can really knock down barriers and improve your quality of life. Being your own health advocate can be scary, especially when you're not feeling well or you're experiencing symptoms for the first time. But no matter if it's your first appointment or your 14th, you are not powerless. And some key takeaways that I would like you guys to take out of this presentation. So the first is self-advocacy. Remember that it is important to communicate with your healthcare team in order to live your best life. You are the key person involved in all of this. It is you that is being impacted, and it is your body and your life. So you need to make sure that you are being an advocate for yourself and speaking up and being assertive. And if you are not comfortable doing that, bring in a caregiver or a friend and have them do it and be more direct for you. And make sure that you are speaking up. So how to be a self-advocate. Hopefully you're leaving this presentation with some tips that you can use in your own healthcare. Being prepared for appointments is important. You should be asserting yourself and informing your doctor about your concerns, needs, desires, and obstacles. Overall, you should be taking an active role in your healthcare by communicating and asking questions and making decisions that are the best for you. And successful self-advocacy can really help improve your quality of life and make sure that you get what you want. It really creates opportunities that you might not have had if you had not brought up a specific concern to your doctor and if you had not asked a question that you had. So I put this acronym in here again because I think it is important to keep in mind, and I think that it can help you when you are advocating for yourself. So always keep in mind, BAGIT, be prepared, assert yourself, gather information, inform the doctor, and take an active role. So thank you so much for being here with me today.